In this session, we are going to see about the third unit, Programmable Peripheral Interface. So the contents in third units are Introduction, the architecture of 8255, keyboard interfacing, LED display interfacing, ADC analog to digital and digital to analog interface, temperature control, stepper motor control, traffic light interface. To introduce 8255 is to communicate with the outside world. Microprocessor uses some peripherals or input-output device. The input devices like keyboard, A to D converters, etc. and some output devices are CRT, printers, LEDs, etc. Peripherals are connected to the microprocessor through electronic circuit known as interfacing circuits. So microprocessors is with internal output devices. Input devices is a keyboard, input peripheral. The signal from input device is given to microprocessor and the process signal is sent to output device, either LED or other devices, that is the output peripheral. Some of the general purpose interfacing devices are input output ports, Programmable Peripherals Interface PPI, DMA controllers and interrupt controller. Some of the special purpose interfacing devices are CRT controller, keyboard, display, floppy disk controllers. Peripheral interfacing chips are used in generation of input-output ports. The Programmable Peripherals Interface Intel 8255 PPI, Programmable Interrupt Controller PIC Intel 8259, Programmable Communication Interface PCI Intel 8251, Keyboard Display Controller Intel 8279, Programmable Counter Inverter Timer Intel 8253, A to D D2A Converter Interfacing. Microprocessor units with input-output devices. The input devices keyboard, PPI 8255, microprocessors and 8279 display, and the signal is sent to output device LED. The address space partitioning. The microprocessors use 16-bit wide address bus for addressing memories and input-output devices. Using 16-bit wide address bus, it can access 2 power 16, that is 64 kilobytes of memory and input-output devices. Two schemes for allocation of address to memories and input-output devices are memory mapped input-output, input-output mapped input-output. Memory mapped input-output. It has only one address space. The address space is defined as the set of all possible address that a microprocessor can generate. Some address assigned to memories and some address to input-output devices. Memory locations are assigned with addresses from 8000 to 84FF. Input-output devices are assigned with addresses from 8500 to 85FF. Input-output mapped input-output scheme. In this scheme, addresses assigned to the memories locations can be assigned to input-output devices. Since the same address may be assigned to memories locations or an input-output devices, the microprocessor has a signal to distinguish whether the address on the address bus is for the memory locations or input-output devices. When signal is high, then address on the address bus is for input-output device. When signal is low, then address on the address bus is for memory location. Two extra instructions in and out are used to address input-output devices. The in instruction is used to read and the input device data, and out instruction is used to send the input devices data. This scheme is suitable for a large system. This is the layout of PPI interface Intel 8255, which has a central bus and it is divided into group A and group B, and group A has port A and C and group B has port C and B, in which PA7 to A0, PC7 to C4, PC3 to PC0 and PB7 to BB0 are in the right hand side, and the left hand side we have group A control and B control, in which a data buffer is at the center to send and receive bidirectional 8-bit data bus, and power supply plus 5 volt and ground is given. Bidirectional data bus has D7 to D0 and read write control logic systems having A0, A1, reset and CS buttons. The operating modes of 8255 are bit set reset BSR mode and input output mode. These are the two operating modes of 8255. Bit set reset mode BSR mode in the word format is given as D0 to D7, in which D456 doesn't care, and bit or reset flag is D7 when it is active. Bit set and reset, 1 is active, 0 is reset. Input output mode. The 8255 has the following three modes of operation. Mode 0 simple input output. Mode 1 input output with a handshake or strobe. Mode 2 bidirectional input output. Mode 0 simple input output. Port A and port B are used as two simple 8-bit input output port. Port C as two 4-bit port. The features are outputs are latched, inputs are buffered but not latched. Ports do not have handshake or the interrupt capability. Mode 1 input output with handshake. Input or output data transfer is controlled by handshaking signals. Handshaking signals are used to transfer data between devices whose data transfer speeds are not the same. Port A and port B are designed to operate with the port C. When port A and B are programmed in port mode 1, 6 pins of port C is used for the control. D0 to D7 data bus is bidirectional tri-state data bus line. It is used to transfer data and control word from 8085 to 8255. RD is read. When the pin is low, the CPU can read data in the port or status word through the data buffer, and WR is write. When the pin is low, the CPU can write data in the port or in the control register through the data buffer. Mode 2 bidirectional input output. Port A can be programmed to operate as a bidirectional port, and mode 2 operation is only for port A. When port A is programmed in mode 2, the port B can be used either in mode 1 or mode 0. Mode 2 operation, the port is controlled by PC3 to PC7 of port C. Pin diagram for 8255 is given from pin 1 to 40, in which 35th pin is the reset pin, the 26th pin is the VCC pin. PC7 to PB2 are from 20 to 10, PA1 to PA3 1 to 3, and CS is 6, read is 5, ground is 7. So this is the diagram in which data bus is D0 to D7, port A is PA0 to PA7, B is PB0 to PB7, C is PC0 to PC7, A0, A1 are the address bits, and the reset input value is reset button, plus 5 volt given at VCC, 0 volt at ground. Programming and operation of 8255. Program mode is mode 0, D7 is set to 1, D6, D5, D2 all are set to 0, mode 0. D4, D3, D1 and D0 determine whether the corresponding ports are configured as input or output. So this is the configuration of D1, D0, D3 and D4 for group A and group B. Thank you.